Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers on the broadcast today. Part one of my interview with Brian Sandoval. He's the president of the University of Nevada, Reno, here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
When in Carson City, Nevada Newsmakers records in the conference room of the Nevada Builders Alliance. Coverage of the 2025 legislative session is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy, proudly serving Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Retail Association of Nevada, looking out for business. And by Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity in every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from Carson City. We're at the home of the Nevada Builders Alliance, and we are joined by the former governor of the great state of Nevada, now president of the University of Nevada, Reno, Brian Sandoval. Pleasure to have you back on the program,
Sam,
sir.
thank you for having me. I know it's been a while, but I'm thrilled that you invited me.
Please come back soon, okay? Before we even get started.
Right.
Okay, so the main topic of the day is Grand Sierra Resort wants to build this arena. And there have been some pushback. It's going before the Reno City Council as the Reno Development Agency. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Would you do me a favor and start out by clearing up what is misinformation and what is correct information?
Yeah. Well, I think you should start with this. And this is an individual, Alex Murillo, who purchased the Grand Sierra out of bankruptcy in the teeth of the recession way back in 2010, 2011, approximately, and has invested tens of millions of dollars into a property to make it right and to really benefit Reno. Now, even before he got involved, there was a redevelopment area, and it was amended in 2006 by the redevelopment agency that was comprised of the city council at that time to specifically include the Reno Hilton property. At the time, it was supported by the gaming industry. It was supported by the community. And the purpose for that, and if you read through all the city minutes like I have, way back in 2006, and if you consulted with the consultants who advised the redevelopment agency and the city council at the time, who happens to be a faculty member and probably the greatest expert on redevelopment in the state right now, they would tell you that the purpose was to help that property out because it was distressed, it was blighted. They wanted to incite an owner to invest in that property to generate more property tax, more sales tax, all the different taxes that would benefit the community. And the decision was made at that time to include the Reno Hilton property. Ironically, at the time, it was owned by Caesars Resorts, who really wanted this to happen. And now, that is Caesars is part of a coalition that's opposing the project.
You know, it reminds me of the early 1990s when we had all these factions. Depending on what the issue was, you either had the downtown casinos against the Peppermill, downtown casinos against the Atlantis, Peppermill, and John Esquaga's Nugget, all against the downtown. This is nothing new in terms of the wars here in Reno. I'm just surprised it's come back like this, because it would seem that a project of this magnitude would just bring more people to Reno, because even with 2,000 rooms, with 10,000 seats, it wouldn't be able to accommodate all the people that would want to come to these various events that they're going to put on beyond just basketball.
Well, and it reminds me, in Las Vegas, when there were the big projects by, the different properties, Kirk Kerkorian, who at the time was the owner of MGM, and Steve Wynn was starting to do some development. We're like, I'm told internally, they're like, we've got to oppose these things. We can't let. And Kerkorian would say, wait a minute, this is great for the city. It will help everybody. And similarly, that's what will happen here. We will get events that we have never seen before. The Nevada basketball team, and obviously that's my job, I have a fiduciary duty to do what's in the best interest of this campus. It will enhance our athletic department. It will enhance the fan experience. It will have a positive impact, because I'm confident that our team will be successful in terms of recruiting new students and attention to our university. It is a win-win all the way through.
Okay, so right now you have Lala Event Center, which is actually a couple of thousand seats larger than the proposed arena, but it's old. What would it take, if it was even possible, to refurbish Lala to be the stadium or the arena that you're looking at now?
Yeah, and it's important, two things. My understanding is the Grand Sierra Arena will be approximately 10,200 seats. Lawler seats 11,200 seats, and it's a rare day. In fact, you could probably count on one hand the number of times it's been sold out. Lawler Event Center was built when I was a student at the university in 1984. And in its heyday, it was great. Pavarotti, the Eagles, you name it, they used to go there. There hasn't been a show in Lawler, not since I've been president, and we've offered it up. Nobody wants to use it because it's dated. It doesn't have the audio. It doesn't have the video. It doesn't have the amenities. I would love to have more events in there, because that would, raise money for the university. I've been told minimum $50 to $100 million to update, and that was one of the things. I have spoken with a couple of the city council people who are going to be on the redevelopment board, and they said, well, they've told us, maybe somebody would be willing to invest that money. The other important point is the university doesn't pay property tax, so there wouldn't be a benefit of a massive investment, even if it were to exist, which it does not, into Lawler Event Center. So that's a non-starter.
And, over the last few weeks, we have learned that Reno is in financial trouble. Sparks is definitely in financial trouble. That'll probably be the first one to see it. And then a few years down the road, Washoe County will be in trouble. So it looks as though this could be very beneficial all the way around, because it's not just the development itself, but it's, all the construction workers that will be working on this will be spending money within these jurisdictions. Money keeps circulating. It's not just the tax benefits.
Yeah. Well, and there's a fourth element that you didn't mention, the school district. School district will be a great beneficiary of this as well. So when I mention the sales tax, the live entertainment tax, the gaming tax, all those things that will be increased, Washoe County, Sparks, school district, all of those will be the beneficiaries of this. And you mentioned the thousands of jobs individuals who will be working on that project and spending money in the community for the next how many years. So, you are correct. And I think it's important to understand, because this is another issue that has been misunderstood in terms of public money. And it's fair to say we shouldn't have public money that is, subsidizing or going for a private development. This is unlike the other projects in town. If you talk about the bowling stadium and the event center and all the different things, the train trench, the baseball stadium, which are still underwater and are guaranteed by the city. This project will be 100% funded by Alex Morello at the GSR. And the only money that will come back to him is that which he has created. He will have increased the sales tax or the property tax, and he gets a small increment of that. So there's nothing coming out of my pocket, your pocket. It just means there'll be less money going to the city and all those other things.
Well, one of the things that's kind of interesting about this, and you raised the point, is that all of those projects you mentioned that were downtown were specifically to benefit downtown and the downtown gaming industry. So the idea that we have something that is going to benefit another gaming industry doesn't make sense that people wouldn't be behind this, because if everybody, Bill Hara and Pappy Smith of Harold's Club used to say, we bring everybody to Reno, and once we get them here, we fight over them when they get here. That seems to me to make the most sense. Because right now, the pool of gamblers is pretty limited in Reno. It's about 5,000 people, as I understand it. And all the properties are fighting for a share of that. You also have the J Resort with Jeff Jacobs that's already looking at over $1 billion worth of investment. They're looking at TIF financing coming down the pike. Jeff Jacobs was on the program a few weeks ago, and he was talking about applying for that as well. So it's not a unique thing.
Yeah, and he should. That's exactly why these redevelopment areas were created, to incite and encourage redevelopment in downtown and the Reno Hilton property. And thank you to Jacobs and to Alex Morello for being willing to come out of pocket their own money and invest in this town, because you've got to consider what the alternative is. The alternative, to history is if those things don't happen, nothing happens.
Well, the other side of this too is, in my opinion, is that every other property in Reno, because people always talk about the gaming industry going down, but it's not. I mean, what happened was all the bad properties went away. The ones that weren't successful, that weren't reinvesting themselves, or were just old, are gone. The ones that are left are thriving, and they need to step up to the next phase, because they all have development plans. They just haven't needed to put them into action. But hopefully this will be an incentive for them to reinvest in their properties as well, to gain a share of what Morello is going to bring to town.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I'd really like to see that happen. And, I've lived here, grade school, high school, the university, and I remember the day when downtown Reno was the place to be. Right. And it was active and it was thriving and people wanted to go there. And now, as you said, several casinos have fallen by the wayside. The old Harrah's building, the old Sundowner building, you can go down the line, you go downtown Reno, and so many places are shuttered. And I would love to see more investment down there. I'm proud of this city. I want what's best for this city. I want what's best for this university. And this is a project that will check all those boxes.
And you're doing as much as anybody, if not more, to bring the university closer to downtown, which was a no-no for so many years, for decades. The university was like hands off of downtown because of the gambling, and you're pushing further, south to expand the university. Let's take a break. We'll come back, and
Okay.
We've got a few things more to talk about with this, a lot actually, right after this time out.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV
Org.
Your good times are at Tamarack Casino during the $150,000 Denim and Diamonds giveaways with cash and free play drawings every Thursday and Saturday, and $30,000 in grand finale giveaways Saturday, May 31st, including a top prize of $20,000 guaranteed. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the air conditioning back on today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why sweat for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your air conditioning fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Brian Sandoval. He's the president of the University of Nevada, Reno. And we're talking about the arena that's proposed for the Grand Sierra Resort. So Mike Van Houten of Downtown Makeover is very positive about redevelopment. He's not an anti-development person. But he has concerns, and he listed them out in a very thorough article in the last few days. And he came up with mitigation ideas for the redevelopment agency. And I just want to throw a few of these out and see what your thoughts are. Downtown event quota: require GSR to co-book 10 to 12 dates at the Reno Event Center Ballroom. For example, women's hoops, tournaments, graduations, mid-year concerts. Is that a good idea?
Well,
as a requirement?
It's not up to me. That would be a conversation with Alex. And I just want to back up on one comment that you made before the break, which is the university's investment. I mean, we have just invested $160 million into a new business building. We've just purchased 17 distressed homes that we have refurbished and are going to make.
Not without controversy, too.
No, but it's the right thing. It's affordable housing for our students. And if you walk through those houses like I did, they needed a lot of help and a lot of work and had no hope. And we have invested that money, and they will be fully occupied this fall. And we have created this university village, which will be wonderful. And when I say not without controversy, I don't know what the controversy is and would love to hear it, but we are upgrading that neighborhood and
well, just the people wanted these historical buildings left alone.
No, I think we're talking about two different things.
Oh.
I'm talking about University Village, which is across the freeway.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
No,
I was talking about the older homes.
And that was done, and certainly there was controversy, and I love history as much as anybody, but in its place, we will have a beautiful business building. Hopefully we'll have a new hotel conference center on the corner of 9th and Virginia Street, beautiful parking garage with a bridge into campus. And now we have jumped the freeway and purchased 19 historic homes, some of which are over 100 years old, and updated them and improved them to make them a very attractive place to live. So let's get to...
Okay, so the hotel, is that a done deal? Or
No, that's subject to approval by the Board of Regents, but we're talking to some developers right now. That has been part of the Gateway plan all along, to be immediately adjacent to the business building.
Okay, shared ticket fee. Add a $2 downtown venue preservation fee on every paid arena ticket. Proceeds to retire the event center and ballroom bonds faster.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose that's an acknowledgement that those are failed experiments and asking the GSR to subsidize those. There's been, I think it's an overall benefit because the types of shows and events that will come to that new GSR will help everybody. Not everybody, as you say, can stay at the Grand Sierra. They will stay in downtown Reno, which will generate more income there, which will help pay those bonds that are underwater for the benefit of downtown.
Shuttle and parking mandate a free game day shuttle loop, basically. From GSR to Riverwalk to Midtown, plus honoring arena tickets in city parking garages. It would be much better than UNR students and downtowners who might normally walk to UNR games at Lala to instead drive after drinking at the games.
Yeah. And I'll say this, we're going to have shuttles for the students.
It seemed like a really simple thought. I mean, I said buses. I mean, how many students normally go to a game? A couple hundred, 300?
Yeah.
So what's that, 4 buses?
Yeah. And, we don't know how to keep track how many of those walked to the game and drove to the game, but we will provide transportation for those students. And actually, we see a business opportunity where, and this has happened in the past, where businesses can host or provide transportation and have a ticket, eat dinner here, and then afterwards when you come back, have a benefit as well. So again, I think people should see the opportunity in all this and the number of people that it'll bring to town.
Just a couple of more things here. 10% or more TIF carve out for core assets. Earmark the agency's 10% share or higher for capital upgrades in the downtown only portion of RDA 2. Does that make sense?
Well, I think what makes sense more to me is for people downtown to invest in their properties and generate more money in RDA 1 instead of asking someone in a different redevelopment district to subsidize what is happening in downtown Reno.
So really, so you're kind of answering the question I was going to ask, which is instead of GSR subsidizing improvements to downtown, that the main property, which would be the row, which is one of the objectives to this, should be doing what has been suggested by so many developers, which is open up the outside of their building so that there are restaurants and other things on the sidewalks, closing off the street potentially, to develop the downtown. It's very nice inside the row, but outside.
Yeah,
not so
and I'm not going to single them out, but everything that the GSR is seeking to do is available to the downtown properties. So, as you said, the rising tide floats all the boats, and competition is a good thing. And if you see investment in one property, perhaps that'll encourage investment in another. You're seeing a lot of investment up at Tahoe now. I think that's great, but that's going to directly compete with Reno. And so, there's a brand new event center up there that the properties up there are going to benefit from. And similarly, I think it's an identical analysis. Hopefully we'll have a new arena here that will benefit everybody in this community.
So there's a new developer now for the old Harris property, but they're still talking about that plaza as just being some kind of park rather than some kind of attraction. And I remember interviewing Phil Satry, now chair of Wynn Resorts, but when he was with Harris, and he was talking about the return. I think he was already post-Harris at that time, but he was talking about the return on investment for that plaza. He couldn't see that there. Do you see a return on investment for people investing in downtown Reno?
I hope so. I mean, that's part of the analysis out at the GSR is Alex Morello could invest somewhere else and make more money. He's choosing to do it in Reno and take a lesser return. That is really a show of faith and confidence in this community. Similarly, somebody, I hope, does something in downtown Reno, because if one person or one entity starts to improve something, as Jacobs has, I think that's going to improve everyone. And then as property values go up, perhaps there is that ROI. But, it really pains me to see that old Harris building just sitting there vacant.
Well, I think that part seems to be resolved, that's moving ahead now.
We hope.
Yeah, well, yeah, always fingers crossed. Yeah. But I think Jacobs investing $1 billion plus is going to do something for downtown, because it's fascinating to sit at Hannah's table. You're looking directly at the row. When you're on the walkway at the El Dorado, you're looking directly at Jacobs. I don't know how long you don't improve your property when you're sitting there looking at each other. Let's take one more break and we'll be right back.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
All hail the $200,000 Cash is King giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Weekly prize drawings including thousands in cash and free play. And 2 big grand prize giveaway events, each with a $15,000 cash winner guaranteed. Only at the Carson Valley Inn.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation for a moment here with Brian Sandoval. He's the president of the University of Nevada, Reno. Thank you for agreeing to stick around for another program because we have so much more to talk about. So we'll take a break. We'll come back with a second show. You can find it online right after this.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
When in Carson City, Nevada Newsmakers records in the conference room of the Nevada Builders Alliance. Coverage of the 2025 legislative session is brought to you by Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. NV Energy, proudly serving Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers. The Retail Association of Nevada, looking out for business. And by Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers come to you from Carson City, from the headquarters of the Nevada Builders Alliance. We'll see you on the next broadcast. Thanks for watching.